my name is ShaTasha Brown. I am the principal, and I will be serving as the LEA representative for today's meeting.
Hello, my name is Bryan. I am the general education teacher working with the students.
Hi, I'm Makayla Skinner. I am the special education teacher working with the students.
Also joining us via phone is the student's aunt, Miss Gloria Jefferson, who is Marcus's legal guardian and a key member of his support team.
Hello, I'm Rayna Kyser, the school psychologist, and I'll be contributing to the discussion with relevant assignments and supports.
Hi, this is Brittany Hoover, Marcus's aunt and legal guardian. Thank you all for including me today. I'm looking forward to making sure Marcus gets the support he needs this school year.
Hello, my name is Julius Bryan. I am the behavior specialist working with Marcus. I'll be discussing his behavior intervention plan and progress with you all today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ryan Smith, the school counselor. I've worked with Marcus on some of his social and emotional goals.
The purpose of this meeting is to review and develop Marcus Jefferson's new Individualized Education Program, or IEP, for the 2025-2026 school year. Our agenda today will include the following 6 items: review of recent assessment data. We will look at Marcus' most current academic and cognitive evaluation to understand his present levels of performance. Discussing progress on previous goals. We'll talk about how Marcus performed on the goals from his last IEP and where progress was made or where additional support is needed. Developing new IEP goals. Based on the assessment results and teacher observation, we'll set specific measurable academic and behavior goals for Marcus for this school year. Reviewing modifications, accommodations, and services. We will go over what classroom support Marcus needs, such as extended time on tests or small group instruction, and where those services will take place. Confirming the least restrictive environment will determine how much time Marcus will spend in general education classes and what supports will help him succeed there. Finalizing and closing of the meeting, we will review everything agreed upon, make sure everyone is comfortable with the plan, and explain the next step, including how progress will be shared with the family. The meeting should take about 20 to 25 minutes. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes.
So before we move forward, I do want to go over the ground rules and the confidentiality. Before we begin, I'd like to review our ground rules. Everything discussed in this meeting is confidential and meant solely for the planning Marcus's education program. Everyone's input is valued and necessary, so please feel free to speak openly and respectful. Our goal is to create a plan that best supports Marcus's learning and development.
Let's start by looking at Marcus's cognitive profile, which gives us insight into how he learns. Marcus demonstrated average abilities in verbal comprehension. This means he generally understands spoken language, vocabulary, and can reason with some verbal information at an age-appropriate level. This is a significant strength we can leverage. We also see high average abilities in visual spatial reasoning. This indicates a strong ability to think with visual information, understand patterns, and solve problems involving spatial relationships. This is another key strength to consider. In contrast, Marcus's working memory index falls in the low average range. This suggests that he may have difficulty holding onto and manipulating multiple pieces of information at once, especially when tasks are complex or require sequential steps. This can impact his ability to follow multi-step directions, remember new information, and complete complex academic tasks. We also observed that Marcus's processing speed is in the low range. This means he may take longer to process information, complete tasks that require quick responses, and work through academic assignments efficiently. This can affect his fluency in tasks and the speed at which he completes schoolwork. Overall, Marcus has notable strengths in understanding and reasoning with verbal and visual information. However, his working memory and processing speed appear to be areas where he experiences more difficulty. Understanding these cognitive patterns helps us tailor our support to his individual learning style. Now let's look at these cognitive strengths and challenges and how they might be impacting Marcus's academic performance. as measured by the Woodcock-Johnson 4 achievement test. The scores I'm going to share are grade equivalent scores, which show the average grade at which a student typically performs at this level. Marcus's performance on applied problems is at a first grade, 5th month level. This means he's having significant difficulty with real-world math problems and applying math concepts to practical situations. This aligns with the challenges we saw in working memory, as applied problems often require holding multiple pieces of information and steps in mind. In basic calculation, he is performing at a first grade 9-month level. This suggests difficulty with fundamental arithmetic operations. Both addition and subtraction fluency are around a 1st to 2nd grade level. This indicates difficulty with quickly and accurately recalling basic math facts. This can be directly impacted by his low processing speed. Marcus demonstrates understanding of quantitative concepts at a 2nd grade, 3rd month level. While still below grade level, this is slightly stronger than his other math scores, perhaps indicating that with sufficient time and support, he will grasp the idea of math concepts even if executing them is a challenge. In mathematics, he is consistently performing well below his current grade level across all areas, particularly in applying math skills and demonstrating fluency with basic facts. His struggles in working memory and processing speed likely contribute to these difficulties. Now we're going to look at his written language skills. Marcus's spelling skills are at a 2nd grade, 2nd month level. His ability to produce written samples at a 2nd grade, 1st month level, and writing fluency is around a 2nd grade level. This means Marcus is also performing significantly below his current grade level in spelling, writing comprehension, and the speed at which he can produce written work. This aligns with the processing speed challenges affecting how quickly he can formulate and write down his thoughts. Based on these results, we can draw some important conclusions about Marcus's learning needs. There are substantial gaps in Marcus's fundamental math and written language skills, placing him multiple years below his current grade level. His low working memory and processing speed are likely significant factors contributing to these academic difficulties. This means we can't just expect him to work harder. We need to provide specific supports that accommodate these cognitive challenges. We can consider how to use Marcus's average verbal comprehension and high average visual spatial skills to help him learn. For example, using visual aids, diagrams, and verbal explanations could be particularly effective. This data provides a snapshot of Marcus's current functioning. The findings are consistent with his diagnosis of ADHD, inattentive type, and a specific learning disability in math problem solving. These combined challenges affect Marcus's ability to stay focused, transition between tasks, and complete assignments independently, particularly when those tasks involve multiple steps or sustained attention. I encourage the team to share their observations from the classroom and at home, as this qualitative data is equally valuable in creating a holistic picture. This data will be used for us to tailor his goals and supports moving forward.
All right. Again, my name is Bryan Brower, the gen ed teacher. And as the gen ed teacher, I have noticed Marcus is a kind and creative student who really enjoys group work and hands-on lessons. He brings positive energy to the classroom and gets along with others. However, he often has trouble staying focused, especially right after transition, like coming in from recess, PE, anything with moving between subjects. We need to work on that a little bit. He needs reminders to get started on his work. Usually does better when I give him a visual checklist or talk through the steps with him. In subjects like math, reading, he needs a little more support to keep going. I try to give him shorter chunks of work, clear directions, and extra time when needed. Marcus really shines during interactive lessons to let him move around or use visuals, some type of visual aid. When in class and calm and structured, he stays more engaged. With regular check-ins, breakdowns with tasks, and visual supports like anchor charts, number lines, he's able to follow through more a little bit better. I also seen success when I pair him with a peer buddy or let him talk out his ideas before writing.
Well, again, I'm Brian Smith. I'm the school counselor. I've been working with Marcus on some of his emotional and social issues. And I'm sure you know, like Mr. Bauer said, he's a very social fella. He works great with other people most days. He really does well when there's good structure. As we pointed out earlier, he's really curious. He responds to situations that allow him motion and flexibility better than he does situations that require sitting still and working alone. I think Mr. Bauer just pointed that out to you. But when he's overwhelmed, what we see is his behavior becomes something completely different. Is that something that you see at home? Because
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that Ms. Kyser pointed out is we want to do a holistic approach. We can help him here at school, but we may need some stuff from you at home too. I know you guys have some things going on at home that would naturally stress out a young child like Marcus. Research shows that events like moving out of his mother's house and changing schools can actually change how a young child's brain actually develops. These types of stresses can actually enlarge the amygdala portion of the brain, which is responsible for handling stress and keeping the body alert. Like a lot of people refer to this as like fight, flight, or freeze. And what we're seeing in Marcus's case, he tends to freeze when he gets overwhelmed. When his body's in stress mode like this, it hampers his short-term memory, his higher level processes. And I believe we can see that in some of these statistics and some of the things we're saying. His previous math teacher, excuse me, like Mr. Bryan said, he struggles with changes if we push him too quickly. Mr. Bauer, I called him Mr. Bryan, that was unprofessional, I'm sorry. His previous math teacher, yeah, I apologize. I get too casual sometimes, you know, I like these people. His previous math teacher observed that he would sometimes just put his head down and act very uncharacteristically when he's overwhelmed. He's a wonderful child. But shutting down like that is just not natural for a boy like Marcus who loves to be around people so much. In other words, what we're seeing combined with his test scores that Ms. Kyser walked you through really looks like it directly reflects that he could be dealing with some serious stress in his home situation and some other situations and stuff like that. Now, this is an area that we can guide you with, but it's going to be out of our hands. I brought you some information on a very famous study on the impact of stress on a developing child's brain and their ability to process in school settings. It's called the ACEs study, ACES, kind of like, you know, Ace of Spades. It's a real short read. I included a QR code for a podcast about it if you'd rather just listen to it in the car on the way home. We can find ways to lower his stress level and really kind of rewire his brain, if you'll accept that kind of language, and bring that processing speed back up. But it's going to require an effort on everybody's part, including at home. This is something that we can't provide for you. Is that something you'd be open to looking at?
Definitely.
Okay, so if you'll agree to it, I'm going to send you home with a questionnaire, more of a worksheet kind of thing, to look at it after you've read the article, listened to the podcast. And this is information that you can bring back to us to help us address his comfort level at home and at school and try to reduce that stress and help him concentrate a little more. Now, not everything has to be written into his IEP. So this is something that we can accommodate as we go and as we learn more headed down the road. But like Ms. Kyser said, it's a more holistic approach where we might be able to actually go above and beyond what an IEP would give him in this case. I want to thank you for doing your part. I know you care about him. It really does take all of us to help Marcus reach his full potential.
Thank you, Ms. Hoover, for allowing us to work with Marcus. Again, I am the behavior specialist here at Lincoln Heights Elementary. I have had the pleasure of working with Marcus. Marcus is a great kid. Like I said, I'm trying not to beat a dead horse who has ADHD and inattentive type. And he's had some difficulty in the past with remaining attentive during instruction time. However, Marcus, he doesn't display disruptive behavior in the classroom, nor does he seem to interrupt, the instructional process or show any kind of trend of disruptive behavior. Therefore, I don't feel like a behavior management plan is the best thing for him right now. I think what we do now is just create a couple of behavior goals, and let's watch him work with those behavior goals. I have had the pleasure to work alongside with Miss Watson, who you know, his caseworker, and she and I kind of got together and kind of talked about some of the things concerning his behavior. And she gave me some recommendations. She did give an input and recommendation, but to save time, I just want to quote one of the things that she said that was kind of interesting to me that I feel is going to help with these behavior goals. One of the things she said the absence of his behavior outbursts should not be misinterpreted as emotional well-being. Rather, his avoidance, his withdrawal, and his fatigue that suggests is his internal stresses. And so I think when she said that she gave these 4 recommendations that what I feel will fit these goals. Her first her recommendations was that Marcus would benefit from school-based counseling or social emotion support. So that would be Mr. Smith. She said that to ensure his IEP is reviewed and updated. You know, this is something that we're doing even now. Her third thing was to provide structured social opportunities, like, you know, lunch with peer mentoring, something like that, to get him more social. And her last thing was regular check-ins between Marcus and you know, and the aunt, Marcus and you, and school staff. So therefore, I'm going to give you these 2 goals that I've written, and I feel like these would really help him out in his situation. So goal number 1, it will increase task initiation and engagement. The objective is given visual prompts and adult support, Marcus will initiate academic tasks within 3 minutes. So of receiving directions in 4 out of 5 opportunities as measured by the teacher observation and data collection over a 9-week period. So that means after giving him the instruction, he gets like a 3-minute leeway. He gets like a 3-minute leeway to actually get started. So that kind of helps to keep his stresses down. And the second goal is to improve social interaction with his peers. The objective is during the structured peer activities, Marcus will engage in at least one appropriate verbal exchange. Your examples would be greeting or asking for answers to a question or sharing an idea with a peer in 4 out of 4 sessions, as measured by the teacher or staff observation over a 9-week period. We will also continue to monitor and work with Marcus just in case, you know, we see any other behavior changes. Are you good with that?
Yes. I really appreciate everything you guys are doing for Marcus. And what you're saying definitely matches what I'm seeing at home also. He is very bright and, like you said, also very curious, but it's hard for him to sit still or stay focused unless it's something he's really into. He loves to draw, he loves designing things, and he's always asking questions like about how things work. But I've noticed that when he's given a clear routine and someone that checks in on him periodically, he's able to stay on track a lot better. But my biggest concern is making sure that he doesn't fall further behind, especially in math and reading. And I want him to feel supported through all the changes that he's had going on in his life in the past few years.
Okay. Well, we do have the LRE, which is the least restrictive environment for Marcus. So Marcus will participate in the general education environment for more than 80% of the school day. He will receive pull-out small group math instructions 4 times per week and in-class co-taught math support 3 times per week. Because of his ADHD and learning disability in math, Marcus needs specialized support. This qualifies him under the eligibility category of OHI, which is other health impairment, with a co-occurring specific learning disability in mathematics.
Based on his current performance and needs, we have developed 2 academic goals in math and 1 behavior goal. By May 15, 2026, Marcus will solve multi-step addition and subtraction word problems using visual models and step-by-step scaffolds with 80% accuracy in 4 out of 5 trials. Math goal number 2, by May 15, 2026, Marcus will use visual fraction models and sentence frames to compare and interpret fractions with unlike denominators with 75% accuracy in structured settings. These goals will be monitored through work samples, teacher observation, data collection, and a curriculum-based assessment. Marcus do have one behavior goal that's outlined in his IEP, and it will be tracked separate from the behavior goals the behavior intervention specialist will be tracking. And the behavior goal is Marcus will initiate classroom tasks within 2 minutes after a transition with no more than one prompt in 8 out of 10 of the trials. To support Marcus in achieving his goal, the following services and accommodation will be in place. He'll have small group math instruction 4 times a week for 30 minutes. Marcus will work in a smaller setting where he can get more personal help with math. He'll have in-class math support 3 times a week for 45 minutes. A special education teacher will work alongside Marcus in his regular classroom to help with math lessons, task initiation, and prompts daily as needed. He'll also have, these are the supplementary aids and services. He'll have visual support, which is like anchor charts, checklists. He'll use tools like step-by-step lists to help him stay organized and follow directions. We'll have a paraprofessional in the classroom to support him during transitions. It'll help him move smoothly between activities so he don't get overwhelmed. He'll get peer assisted learning in math. He'll sometimes be paired with a classmate to work together and stay focused. I know they mentioned earlier that the gen ed teachers see that he works better when he's with a peer. Small group instruction, he'll often learn in smaller groups where it's easier to ask questions and stay on task. These are some of the program modifications. Chunking, big tasks will be broken down into smaller manageable steps. Reduce workload. He'll do shorter versions of assignments when there's a lot of writing involved, so it's not too frustrating. Built-in breaks between tasks. He'll get short breaks to help him reset and stay focused throughout the day. These are some of the accommodations we're going to make to his assessments. He'll get extended time so he doesn't feel rushed. Visual aids will be there to like number lines and math blocks to help him solve problems. Quiet testing environment. He'll take tests in calm space with fewer distractions. Teacher administered directions. The teacher can read instructions out loud and explain them to make sure he understands. Monthly collaboration between general ed and special education teachers will happen. Training for staff on ADHD strategies twice per year. Do you have any questions, Ms. Hoover, so far?
Can't think of any at the moment. I'm sure I will throughout the school year, but
Does anybody else have anything they want to add?
No, ma'am, I'm good.
I'm good. Just call me if you need me.
Okay, so thank you everyone for your thoughtful input and collaboration today. Marcus will continue to be supported both in the general education setting and through special education services. The updated IEP will be implemented starting August 15, 2025, and will continue to monitor his progress closely. Ms. Jefferson will send a finalized copy of the IEP and your procedural safeguards shortly. Do you have any questions or concerns before we conclude? If there are no further questions, this concludes our IEP meeting for Marcus Jefferson. Thank you all again for your time and commitment to Marcus' success.